Hello, hello! Today I wanted to show you how I make VRChat avatars. But I thought just making a VRChat avatar would have been kind of boring. I'm gonna make an avatar in 1 minute, in 10 minutes, and in 30 minutes. And then we'll see which one's the best. So let's see how easy and how hard it can be to make a VRChat custom avatar. Alright, so to start off, I'm gonna use the avatar Milfy by +1. So we're just gonna get our Milfy avatar prefab. I've already imported everything into this project. So there we have our Milfy. What I usually like to do is remove some stuff that I don't like. For example, I don't really like some of these accessories. And the default hair is actually fine, but let's change the clothes. So what we want to do is remove all of the clothes one by one, like this. So we can add the clothes that we want. So let me just go in and drop this in. So actually a lot of people think that you do this stuff yourself, but actually a lot of assets are sold on Booth. And, you know, this way you can just easily put, you know, the clothes on your avatar that you want. You don't have to make them yourself. Change the hair color a bit and we're done. So this is the best thing I could come up with in a minute. So yeah, you can already see this looks a little bit different from the default avatar. And it's not that much effort. You just put on the clothes because most modern clothes, anyways, on Booth support modular avatar. And modular avatar is basically a add-on for Unity, which makes it that it just saves you a lot of time. Because usually you would have to do all of this manually, but thanks to modular avatar, you just have to drop it on your project and boom, the clothes are like set up. You don't have to do anything, you don't have to fiddle with anything. And yeah, that's what our avatar looks like within 1 minute. Yeah, that's what it looks like. And let's go to the second attempt. Alright, now we got a little bit of more time, which doesn't mean that we can relax and slow down. So yeah, actually some avatars, especially new ones, have an option called Kisekai instead of the default option. This Kisekai basically makes it so that, you know, it strips all of the avatar of their clothes, so you can actually put on the different clothes that you want. But instead of clothes, I actually want to go into changing the hair. I mean, I love the default hair of Milfy. I think it's really, really cute. And I should actually use it more, not gonna lie. It looks very cute. But we're actually gonna shave her bald and remove all of her like hair accessories in the meantime. Just like this. Now we have a beautiful bald avatar. Because I actually have a hairstyle that I want to try out. And it is this hairstyle, which I think also looks pretty cute. It's actually kind of similar to the original. But yeah, I think it's very cute. And you can see, this actually does not have any modular avatar stuff. So what we actually have to do is go into the armature here, chest, neck, and head, and then we just drag it into this head section. If we wouldn't do this, the hair would just float in the air and not follow the head. So we put it in this head bone. So yeah, now that we have the hair on, let's put on some clothes. Do you want to go for the same clothes, or let's try out, what do we have? Casual bunny dress. I love bunnies, so let's try out this dress. Oh, so let's go change the material, because I actually have a preferred material. Let's fix this. I have a preferred material called Real Light, and basically it just shades your hair like a little bit more dramatically, same as your clothes. Like, it just gives it a little bit more pop. Yeah, other stuff we could polish. Let me see. I actually have face animations in this project. So basically, I really like the default face, but you can actually change the faces in your avatars, and this is something I do a lot. I don't think we'll have enough time to actually customize a lot, but I mean, we can customize a little bit. So for example, I could just look up Joy, and there we have one like animation that we got. Anyways, another thing you can change, oh god, I don't know if I have time for this. If you go on the inspector on the right on your face and you click on this and double click this. Let me open this, because I bought a makeup pack. So you can basically just open the makeup pack, copy it, paste it, and then boom, you have makeup. When you refresh your project, yeah, you know, a little bit of makeup. So it makes your avatar more unique. There's more out there makeups, but there's also more like subtle stuff like this. It just helps your avatar pop a little bit more and have it be a little bit more customized. With this makeup texture, there was also an eye texture actually, which I wanted to try out. Which you can just copy. You can just put it on like this, and you go back to your project. Usually you have to like refresh it a little bit, and boom, it looks way different. Let's go with like a sky blue maybe. Maybe that looks good, I don't know. And yeah, with the materials you can just drop them on, and we're done. So this is what, you know, a 10-minute avatar could look like. So, you know, we're a little bit past the basics. We have, you know, eye makeup now. We have a different type of hair, clothes, we changed the colors, different face animations. So I already did quite a lot for the average customizer. But let me show you what I can cook up in 30 minutes. Let's go. Alright, so let's start by dragging in our Milfy Kisekai prefab. Boom. And there we go. There she is. Let's go and put on some new hair. So I've imported some stuff from my favorite shop called Nanaha. They actually released a new hair recently called Meloa, and Milfy supported. Actually, here you have two options. You have the modular avatar, so the automatic option, and the manual option. Actually, what I like to do is, because I own multiple hairs from a singular store, from this Nanaha store that I really like, I can actually do something cool, which I don't think a lot of people do, but which I think is very, very underrated. We can go in and put this hair here. Let me cook. So now what we've basically done is we've combined two hairstyles, because I prefer the bangs of this hair, but I also like the fluffiness of the other hair. So we just combined that, and you know, now we got two hairstyles combined. Yeah, let's go with something more goth-like, because you know, our previous ones were a little bit too cheerful. So let's go with this one. And yeah, I don't like these wings because they're gonna go into the hair a lot. But apart from that, I think this looks pretty good. Drag this down a little bit so it already looks a little bit closer. Let's do the same thing with the real light, where we apply the epic rim lighting and stuff. Boom, and it already looks, you know, it looks a bit better. Okay, so both are open. I'm just gonna use the same makeup, I think. I also like to do is plop on a curves adjustment. This depends on your software, but I basically like doing something like this. Just make it a little bit more contrasty and a little bit more bright. Boom. You can also make the breast bigger if you want. Do we wanna I don't know, maybe a little bit. Actually, I'm a big fan of, like, you know, like 35, 40, 20 instead of like a full 100. Where we had like a brownish thing going on, so I'll make it brown, and then I also put a curves adjustment on there just to make the brown like a little bit more darker. Let's make it pop a little bit more. Let me save that again. And actually, this is a thing a lot of people forget when they do avatars. They forget the color of their eyebrows. So they have like purple hair, but like yellow eyebrows. So what you want to do is it's like this. It's always like a stripe like this usually. And then you can just go and do a recolor adjustment. The name of this will depend on your software. I don't know if it's called the same in Photoshop and Clip Studio, but this is what it's called in Affinity Photo. That's better. Very small touch, but it's better. And actually, while we're at it, you can also select all these parts and make them, you know, unified, like a little bit more unified with the hair, with the actual like so. And then it just looks like a little bit more harmonious, I guess. And yeah, let's customize the face actually. Now that we have more time, we can go into this big menu. So there's a lot of these blend shapes for the face, especially for like the eyes and the mouth and stuff. And you can make it look however you want. The problem with these is you can't put max on everything and have it look good. You have to kind of, you know, press a little bit throughout stuff. I'm usually kind of a big fan actually of like, you know, slanted such. I kind of like sleepy looking eyes. So we'll do just that. Oh, Doya is kind of nice as well. And yeah, you can just, this is actually, like, this is all just kind of intuitive. Like, there's no right way to push these levers, right? There's no right way to do this. It's really just your personal preference. Do you like big sparkly eyes? Are you like a bubbly girl, or are you like a cool onesan type of vibe? It just depends on what you like yourself. I'm more of like the sleepy, drowsy, slanted kind of camp. Yes, this is my favorite section, the eyelid section, because this is where the break can put in a lot of work. So this is where my signature look from. I usually like putting the upper eyelid down and the lower. I usually like putting the upper eyelid down and the lower eyelid also down. If you put the upper one down, it makes it a bit more drowsy. But then let me look for it. Eyelid, lower eyelid down, kind of like this, and you got that kind of like a rounder kind of shape, which I really like. Like I said, this is pretty much up to you. There's no right way to go about this. But I also usually like to do this eyelid thin. I don't really like the thin, the thick eyelids, like a little thinner like this. Just like the corner go down for like a more droopy look. Actually, I think I'll do that. Yeah, and yeah, you can also have the tail of the eyelid, the eyelash. You can also make these like wider or narrower. Also delete them, but I think this looks kind of weird. And yeah, I think that about is it. Now we got our shape keys that we just like defined on every expression. A few other things that you could do, which I'll go into now, is multiple clothes. For the people that sleep a lot in VR, you might want a, you know, clothes toggle for sleep where, you know, we first of all uncheck the sleeping dress, and then we right click and go in modular avatar, create toggle. And usually I just call this like clothes switch or something. And then we drag this in, and it's supposed to be on, and then we put this in, and it's supposed to be off. And when we press the button, it'll come up in your like circle menu and your radial menu. When you press the button in the radial menu, you have a toggle. Yeah, so I would just follow this process like this. Then you just apply the expressions to your avatar, and we're done. And this is what our avatar looks like. So yeah, we were actually pretty close to finished like a lot of minutes ago, but you know, it's always like the little touches that make your avatar unique, like the face, the little material settings, combining hairstyles, combining clothes. What I think is more important is that, you know, in just 30 minutes, you can already get pretty far if you're quick. Of course, I was just faster now for the sake of the challenge. I would usually do this like way slower and way more relaxed. But yeah, this is what the avatar looks like in the end. And yeah, I hope you like this video, and I hope you'll make your own avatar for VRChat. And yeah, if you like this video, please leave a like, and if you want to see more, then you can subscribe. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you in the next video, and mata nera! Bye bye!